Hi, my name is Shauna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about how I was adopted and that story and how we are actually in the process of adopting now. Okay, so I was 3.5 when I was adopted. I was adopted in California. My mom had lived in Nevada and she just kind of brought me over to California to get me in for adoption. So I was only in the foster home for about 3 months when I was adopted. Although I've never had any kind of anger towards my birth mother or my birth father for giving me up, I actually felt like it was a really great thing that they did because I was in a good environment that I was living in. So I actually am very thankful to, for that. So I remember from like my youngest years, like missing piece of me that I wished that I knew where I came from and who my mother was and who my father was. And I used to like just imagine that she lived close by and that I would get to see her again someday. But my adoption was a closed adoption, so there was like less chance that I would ever find her or meet her or anything. So I think because of that, I've always known that I wanted to adopt someday, probably more than I even wanted to have my own kids. I knew that I could have my own kids someday, hopefully. But I guess like when I thought about it, that was never in my head of like how I was going to have kids or like how it would happen. Surprise, surprise. And then I had Madeline, and that was an interesting experience. That was not what I was expecting when I got pregnant. I mean, I knew that I could get pregnant, but it just wasn't what I was expecting to get pregnant. Michael and I, my husband, we have been married for, I believe, almost 4 years. Madeline, she's about 3.5 right now. So we had been talking about adoption for a while. I think since meeting me was when he actually started thinking about like that maybe he would want to adopt. So we had just been talking about it for a while and praying about it and just like the right timing and everything when that would be. We moved back to California from Kansas City, Missouri about 2 years ago. I think actually today is 2 years ago today. Yeah. So we started the process a little bit, just a little bit after we moved back from Kansas City. And it's been a really long process. We're just doing the foster to adopt. That's what I was adopted through. Like we went through the whole foster side of things and we had to like clear all that, and then we had an adoption social worker, and right in the middle of that, our adoption social worker, we were at the very end. We had been doing the process for maybe about like 6 months, and then everything should have been done. She should have been able to like close our account and write everything off, and then she retired. And because she retired, she never did write off our case and finish that off and everything. So we actually had to restart the interview process with the adoption side of things. 2 days ago, we just had our last interview with her, and that finished that. So now we are actually just in the process of we wait for her to close our case, to write it up, to put us through, and during that process, like we could be placed with a child. So that's where we are, and I definitely want to do updates with that and stuff. I will not be allowed to show the child's face. I won't be allowed to say their name, but I can give little updates just on how it's going, and so I fully intend on doing that. And I'm going to take so much video. I want to be able to, at the end of this, after we adopt the child, that I want to be able to put up a video of like the first time that we met him or her, and the first time that they met Madeline, and the first time they met my family and everything. So I'm going to be recording all of that. I'm going to be documenting all of that, and I will put that up at the end. So you can be looking out for that. Checking, checking, 1, 2, 3. And to get me in for adoption. It's super loud. Okay. I don't know. 2 days ago, at the end of our last interview with our social worker, she said, so there is a little girl.